Hello, and welcome to the Early Childhood Networks. My name is Nick Kennedy, and I'm a Senior Program Manager with the ECN staff team. We're happy you're here today and excited to share with you about our program. And I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Stephanie McCoy.
Hi, everyone. Like Nick said, I'm Stephanie McCoy. I'm the other senior program manager with the Early Childhood Networks, and thank you for being able to join us today. I would like to review with you our learning goals. So by the end of this onboarding session, all ECN members should have an understanding of the history, structure, and purpose of ECN, an overview of the roles within the Early Childhood Networks, ECN policies and procedures, and how to access resources and receive support. We want to take time to introduce you to the Early Childhood Networks, providing information about staff, history, purpose, our organizational chart, leadership team information, and we'll review our 2024-2025 calendar.
Okay, starting off, meet the members of our ECN staff team. Michelle Jewett is our program director, and she provides general oversight and leadership for our program. As I mentioned, I'm Nick Kennedy, one of two senior program managers with ECN, and I work primarily with our mentor network. My colleague Stephanie McCoy works with the Infant Toddler Teacher Network, Home-Based Provider Network, Director Network, and our new Mentorship Hub pilot program. And Yadira Lorenzoni is our program coordinator, and she works closely with members from all networks. You will have ample opportunity to get to know our entire team better over the coming weeks and months. And please know that we are here to support you. So don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us if there's anything that we can do to help.
So we would like to review with you the history and structure of the Early Childhood Networks. Our network started in 2015 as a partnership between CNM and the Thornburg Foundation. CYFD later took over the responsibility and provided funding for the Early Childhood Networks. When the New Mexico legislature established ECECD in 2020, the Early Childhood Networks contract moved from CYFD to ECECD along with other early childhood programs. Administration of the Early Childhood Networks moved from CNM to CNM Ingenuity.
The Early Childhood Networks was founded with a few goals in mind, and those goals continue to drive our work to this day. We strive to strengthen the links between early childhood programs, educators, and communities, to provide learning experiences for the next generation of educators, and to support recruitment and increase retention in the field of early childhood education.
So we are ECN. We are the Early Childhood Networks. We are a statewide program with its hub in Albuquerque and 4 spokes across New Mexico. And we're located also in Farmington, Las Cruces, Santa Fe, and Silver City. ECN currently operates 5 programs: the Mentor Network, the Infant Toddler Teacher Network, Home-Based Provider Network, Director Network, and the Mentorship Hub. The work of each network is facilitated by a group of leads. Every ECN member will be assigned to a professional learning community and attend monthly PLC meetings facilitated by a lead in your network. And this is all demonstrated on this organizational chart that has been created.
So taking a look at our leadership team for the 2024-2025 year, we want to start by highlighting our spoke managers. In Farmington, we have Tanisha Batoni. Our spoke manager for Las Cruces is Maribel Lucero. In Santa Fe, we have Crystal Sanchez. And in Silver City, we have Julie Simmons. So if you live in or near one of those cities and you're a member of one of our spokes, your spoke manager is going to be a great resource for you and someone you can reach out to get more information or support. As Stephanie mentioned, the work of our networks are facilitated by our leads, which are shown on this slide to the right of our list of spoke managers, and they're broken out here by network. As we mentioned, each ECN member will be assigned to a PLC group and attend monthly meetings, and those meetings are facilitated by one of the leads shown here on this screen. At this point, we'd like to take a look at our calendar for the year, and as you can see, it's very full. We have a lot of really exciting things going on, but please don't feel overwhelmed, because not everything shown here will necessarily apply to you. For the purpose of today's onboarding, I'd like to call your attention to a few items. First, our 2 in-person events. So we have our annual kickoff on Saturday, August 17th, shown on this calendar by a green dot. The kickoff is our first in-person event of the year, and it's where we bring all of our members together to network with one another and team build and generate some motivation and inspiration for the coming year. The end of year celebration will happen this year on Saturday, April 26th. And if you look at the April portion of the calendar, you'll see that represented by an orange dot. The end of year celebration is sort of the counterpart to the kickoff, bringing our year to a close and getting everybody back together to look back at the year that we just did and celebrate the work we accomplished together. Both of these in-person events are held in Albuquerque and in each of the 4 spokes, so you can attend whichever event is most convenient for you. Next, as we talked about a moment ago, we have our monthly PLC meetings, which run every month from September to April. And on this calendar, you'll see those weeks called out by a series of yellow dots. So if you are a member of the Mentor Network, you might meet any night from Monday through Thursday. Mentor Network PLC meetings are Monday through Thursday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And the specific night of your meeting depends on which PLC group you are assigned to. All of our Infant Toddler Teacher Network members will meet in their PLCs on Tuesday evenings from 6 to 7:30. The Home-Based Provider Network will have its PLC meeting Wednesdays from 6:30 to 8 p.m. The Directors Network has its meetings on Thursdays in the afternoon. So those meetings take place from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. And finally, the directors and their designees of programs participating in the Mentorship Hub pilot will meet Fridays from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. The last thing I'd like to call your attention to is the deadlines for our monthly reports. So if you are in the Mentor Network or you are a membership of our leadership team, you will have reports due from September through December and again, February through April. And the deadline is always going to be the 20th day of each of those months. So looking at this calendar, you're looking for the darker purple dots. We're going to discuss reports in greater detail later in this presentation, but just wanted to call out for you now when those report deadlines are happening.
We are now going to discuss the importance of communication and how that works across our network structure.
And we'll start by talking about, generally speaking, your communication with ECN members and staff. ECN is intended to support and uplift early childhood educators. We want to make sure our programs are spaces in which all participants feel welcome and respected. So with those goals in mind, here are a few expectations for your communication with your fellow ECN members and with ECN staff. First, we ask that you be friendly. To get the most out of your involvement with ECN, it's crucial to network and collaborate with your peers. Approach other ECN members with warmth and openness, and you're assured to receive the same in return. Next, we ask that you be respectful. Disrespectful communication that makes another ECN member feel unwelcome is not acceptable. Remember that everyone is human and we don't know what they may be dealing with in their personal lives. If friction occurs, extend grace and give others the benefit of the doubt. If you feel you need to give constructive criticism or disagree with someone, consider your tone and word choice and always seek to deliver your message in the most respectful way possible. Next, we ask that you respond promptly. We know we all get busy and it may not be possible to respond to every message immediately. However, it is important to respond promptly whenever possible to keep us moving forward and ensure no one is waiting to hear back from you. So plan to respond to any direct communications from ECN staff or members within 48 hours. And finally, please notify someone if you are experiencing issues. You don't have to go through difficult situations alone, but others cannot support you if they don't know what's going on. You can always reach out to any member of ECN staff to share your concerns, and depending on the nature of your situation, you may want to reach out to other parties, such as your spoke manager, your PLC lead, or even one of your peers. Now we're going to talk about Mighty Networks, which is a platform that we have used in the past, but are really doubling down on this year and using in new and robust ways. To give you a little bit of context, we plan to use Mighty Networks as an official channel to communicate about ECN business, a centralized place to share information and resources, a space for participants of all networks to engage with one another and build community. In the past, we used separate platforms for all of these functions. So one for information sharing, one for leads to collaborate with one another, and a third for our members to engage in team building. By consolidating all of this into one platform, our intent is to streamline our work and provide everything our members need in one user-friendly location. So I'd like to talk about how members are expected to use Mighty Networks, starting with our leads. So if you are a member of our leadership team, we ask that you contribute regularly to community pages and those specific to your network and PLC, engage with other participants, especially those in your region, network, and PLC, collaborate and share resources with other leads, upload PLC meeting materials such as monthly meeting agendas and presentations in advance of those meetings so that your members can come prepared, and check Mighty Networks at least every other day so that you can respond to direct messages within 48 hours. Now for participants, we ask that you engage with the platform, use it to collaborate with and get to know your peers. You can also use Mighty Networks to communicate about ECN business on a day-to-day basis. Look to the platform to access resources such as monthly meeting links and agendas, because as we mentioned, our hope this year is to streamline our work and do away with tedious tasks like emailing PLC meeting links repeatedly each month. To get started in Mighty Networks, you'll want to check your email inbox because we will send you an invitation to the email address you used when creating your application. Follow the link in your email, create your account, and complete our welcome checklist. And if you need any help, we have a few resources available to you. We have an instruction document that will walk you step by step through the process of creating your account. There are tutorial videos embedded in Mighty Networks to give you more information about how to use various aspects of the platform. And of course, you can always contact your lead or a member of ECN staff to get support. So this year, Mighty Networks is one of our primary communication tools, but of course, we also have email and want to cover some tips for making sure that your email communication is professional and explain situations in which you might use your email to communicate instead of Mighty Networks. So on the left, you'll see some tips for keeping our emails professional because we all represent ECN when we communicate with other ECN members and with outside parties. First, use a clear and direct subject line so that the recipient has a general idea of what the email is about. Consider using salutations. Begin your message with a greeting and the recipient's name, and end your email with something like "thank you" or "kind regards." Respect your time and that of your recipient by keeping your email concise and to the point. Try to avoid sending emails outside of normal business hours unless it's an urgent situation. If you draft an email in the late evening or early morning, if that's the time when you prefer to work, there's a feature in most email platforms now that allows you to schedule the message so that you can write it at one time and have it sent at another. And finally, consider whether it is appropriate to reply all to group emails. Does everyone on the email chain need the information or just the original sender? In most cases, it's not going to be everybody on the chain who needs the information. Next, we want to talk again about timely response. So we mentioned in the context of Mighty Networks that all members are expected to respond to direct messages within 48 hours. The same goes for email communication. So if you receive an email from a member of ECN staff or a member of one of the networks, please try to respond to that within 48 hours. And lastly, let's talk about the difference between email and Mighty Networks for the purpose of your communications through your work with ECN. As we mentioned, we'd like to centralize communication on Mighty Networks as much as possible. However, in some cases, email might be the better option. For instance, if you are in an urgent situation in which you need to deliver important information or receive a quick response, you might want to send an email. Every year around March or April, we engage in an annual evaluation in which we usually partner with a third-party consultant to send surveys to our members, convene focus groups, and generally collect data about how things are going for our program. And those invitations are going to come to you via email. So please keep an eye on your email inbox around springtime for our annual evaluation. And for our mentors, you will work with your mentee and their instructor to establish communication norms, but because most faculty members and mentees are not in Mighty Networks, email is probably going to be your primary means of written communication with those individuals. And to recap, when it comes to Mighty Networks, times when you should choose Mighty Networks over email include your day-to-day communication with ECN staff and members, to obtain links and resources for monthly meetings, and to access exit slips.
We're now going to talk a little bit more about events, event attendance, and RSVPs. So we do have two mandatory events throughout our calendar year. The annual kickoff was held on Saturday, August 17th. This is a mandatory in-person event that is held by region, so all members will need to attend the event in their assigned spoke. The end of year celebration is a fun in-person event used to celebrate the accomplishments of the network year. All members are required to attend this event in their assigned spoke, and this event is held in April. For RSVPs, events are posted in Mighty Networks. Event reminders will be posted in Mighty Networks as well and sent by ECN staff and leads to all members. For response time, we ask that all formal invitations for in-person events be responded to by the established deadline. RSVP numbers are used to ensure that ECN books adequate space for the event and orders food and drinks for the amount of people who will be attending.
So that concludes the segment on communication, and we are now going to shift gears and talk about some expectations related to professionalism and accountability.
So we're going to start with attendance. We want to talk about meeting attendance and our expectations around that. So we do ask that all members are on time. So please be on time when you're attending our meetings. If you're going to be late or miss the meeting, please communicate that with your lead and always be professional. When you're earning a stipend, so for ITTN, ECDN, and HBPN, participants will receive a stipend for attending the monthly meetings. For mentors, the process is slightly different. Mentors are required to attend the monthly meeting and will receive a stipend specifically for mentoring. If for any reason a mentor is not mentoring, the mentor will receive a stipend for attending the monthly meeting. For professionalism hours, each participant will earn professionalism hours for attending the monthly meetings. The total number of hours awarded will be calculated based on your attendance at those meetings by the end of the semester. An electronic copy of the certificate will be issued based on the meetings attended.
Talking a little bit more about expectations surrounding your etiquette in meetings, I'll start with a quote. To be early is to be on time. Please plan to access the meeting link at least 5 minutes prior to the scheduled start time of the meeting. All members are asked to be on camera during virtual meetings to ensure active participation. And on a related note, we ask that you find an uninterrupted location from which to attend the meeting. Remember that you are supposed to give your undivided attention to the meeting, not to other activities such as driving, cooking, or participating in a child's function. ECN leads are going to be modeling the behavior that we expect from all of our members with respect to these meeting etiquette items, to camera usage, to muting your microphone when not talking, arriving early, and starting the meeting right on time.
So let's talk about information sharing about the early childhood networks. So ECN has created flyers for all networks that are available for download. If you are a member of a childcare network or coalition, please share the ECN flyers digitally or post the printed version. If you are a member of a childcare association, ask if you can share the ECN flyers through their email distribution list or post them on the association website or social media pages. For recruitment, we count on our ECN members to help us with grassroots recruitment efforts. We encourage all ECN members to share information and flyers with other early childhood educators who are not currently participating in the early childhood networks. We want to continue to grow the networks for years to come, so please share information about all the networks with your staff and other early childhood administrators and educators in your region.
Okay, at this point, I'd like to talk about keeping your ECN profile up to date. And every one of our members, believe it or not, has a profile because this is the first step you complete when you submit your application. This is something that you only need to do once. Although we ask our members to submit a new application every year, most of our returning members are probably using the same profile that they created when they originally joined. And for that reason, it can be easy to gloss over this step when applying, but it's important to take the time to make sure that the information in your profile is up to date. Generally speaking, you should update your profile anytime your information changes. For instance, let's say you move and you have a new address, or you get a new phone or change phone numbers. If you begin using a new email address, or if you get a new job and your place of employment changes. Those are all examples of situations in which something about your contact information has changed, and you should let us know by updating your profile to reflect that change. You can update your profile by following the application links on our website, which are also copied here for you. So the first link that you see is for the mentor network and for our lead positions. And the second is for the director network, infant toddler teacher network, and home-based provider network. After updating your profile, please notify our program coordinator, Yadira Lorenzoni, by sending an email to ecmn@cnm.edu. You might be wondering why we emphasize updating your profile so much. The first reason is because accurate information in your profile is essential to make sure that you receive your stipend on time. If something about your contact information changes, it may be necessary for you to fill out a new W-9 form in order to receive your payment. And if that's the case, we will reach out to you and let you know. But the first step is to update your profile. For our mentors, we need to know where you currently work so that we can accurately place mentees at your center. And finally, this goes for all of our members, we need to be able to contact you, and we don't want anyone to miss out on important information because your email address or phone number had changed and we didn't know about it.
So let's talk about reports. So we want to acknowledge that not everyone within the networks has to complete reports. So who is required to complete reports? We do ask of our leadership team and our mentors that they do complete monthly reports to provide updates to ECN staff on happenings that are going on within the networks. The report serves as a crucial tool to track mentoring activities. Its purpose is to keep the program updated on progress as you're mentoring the mentees. And please note that the due date is critical to ensure timely completion and review of all reports. So mentoring details. Please provide information on the number and type of mentees that you are mentoring. Individual mentee questions, depending on the number of mentees, specific questions will be tailored for each. Include mentee names and details of the mentoring activities. When you're addressing concerns, please share any questions or concerns that you may have, regardless of the size. The program coordinator reviews each report, ensuring follow-up when necessary amongst the ECN team, spoke managers, and leads. And an important note, please, again, pay attention to the submission deadlines. Late submissions can affect timely and correct payments. And we also want to make sure that we are being responsive to any questions or concerns that you might have.
And that brings us to the end of this onboarding. Again, we thank you so much for being a member of our program and for attending today. We hope the information that we've shared is helpful. If you have any questions, we have our contact information on the screen, starting with our website, ecnetworks.org. There is a wealth of information about all of our programs on our website. So if you have any questions, you might check there first to see if we have the answer up there for you. And if not, you can send us an email at ecmn@cnm.edu or give us a call at 505-224-3606.
Thank you so much and have a great day.